This is my King Code board control deck. Originally, I was when I did the live stream and I was doing the the deck building stream and play test. There is gameplay of it. The gameplay is not of great quality because I still didn't know how to use the software, and apparently it was set to 480p, which is not great quality. And then running that through other editors and all this other issues just drastically reduced the quality. So I finally found out how to set my stream software to 1080p. Hopefully future streams will be much higher quality. I'm still a noob when it comes to using it. Hopefully it gets better. Part of the problem is that it has issues. Like it's, when you realize that it says it's a beta, like, oh, okay, beta. So I'm beta testing the Twitch studio thing. Anyway, enough of that. The point is that there's gameplay if you're interested in seeing this deck in action. It is gameplay before I tweaked the deck a little bit and modified it. But this is pretty much almost the exact same build. I'm just trying to think, what was the change that I made? I think it probably was just only Golden Frieza. I had originally, I had the one drop Frieza Army Unison that makes token. It's a good card. Like the idea of trying to have a token engine is not bad. I'm a fan of token engines, but it really wasn't, doing so well. It wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I didn't get early enough. There's so many reasons for it. And then the other thing is that ironically I couldn't search it out. And Berry Blue has the ability to grab a Unison with a specified cost of 2, or a field card specified cost of 2. So before I can only grab the field cards. I couldn't grab a Unison because I had a 1-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop, so I couldn't grab any of them. But now I got a 2-drop, so now she does do something extra, which is she gets you this, and this is a really good Unison. I do expect in the future for there to be a 2-drop green Unison where you +1 and just draw, not draw and discard to gain critical, right? Oh no, you don't discard, you put the card on top of your deck. No, just just draw. Because every other color has one, so far, that where you just +1 and draw, +1 draw. Blue just got one, black got one, red of course had King Piccolo Jr. I think yellow might have one, but I'm not too sure. It might have a +1, or you pitch your card and draw 2, maybe. They probably have a 2-drop, but the point is when they have a green one, then you can just swap this out for the green one where you just +1. Because it's always good to have an ability to draw outside of just trying to rely on your leader to draw, especially against hand control, or hand destruction, whatever you want to call it, right? But the other thing is that, yeah, this leader doesn't draw unless you play the field cards. So it doesn't draw on the front, it doesn't draw on the back unless you play field cards. So this deck is meant to, obviously loop and reuse your field cards over and over again, obviously, but at the same time, yeah, I want a Unison where I draw. So for now, this is good enough because it's the best I can do until we actually get one where it's just you just plus draw, and that would make this deck, it'd be better. It'd be better than this Frieza. Frieza is good. Don't get me wrong; it's a good card. The -2 is the best part, but I would like a draw one. Anyway, let's go through the list. I don't want to spend too much time talking, right? No one really listens to me anyway. So 1 copy of the leader, 4 Rebrand Avatar of Affection, 4 Chill Let the Battle Begin, 4 King Code Supreme Ruler, 4 Majin Buu Unadulterated Malice, 4 Zarbon Cosmic Elite, 4 Berry Blue, Frieza's Advisor, 4 Topo Righteous Aid, 4 Nappa Super Combo, 4 Anticipated Onslaught, 4 Unstoppable Invasion, 4 Golden Frieza Unison of Malice, 4 King Vegeta Invasion's Command, 4 Vegeta Resolute Agents of Destruction, 1 Majin Buu Kibito Kai Absorbed, and 1 King Co's Dynasty. So of course when you play the leader, you automatically start off with King Co's Dynasties, so you want to have this in play. So you automatically start with this field card in play. and then it makes your field cards cost 1 less, and you can have multiple copies of your field cards in play, which is nice, obviously for the synergy and all that good stuff. The leader, when you play a green extra battle card with an original cost of 2 from your hand, reduce the energy cost by 1. Notice it says green, doesn't say mono green, but berry blue does say mono green, which ruined a red green strategy that I had, because she specifically only brings back mono green extra cards, so they were slick to make it mono green. But the leader doesn't require mono green, so if there's ever like a red green 1 energy, you know, so a 3 cost, right, extra card or something. Oh no, well, this only works on 2 costs, so that wouldn't even work. Yeah, so that wouldn't work regardless. I guess it didn't need to say. I was just thinking like, man, it'd be cool if you could do it, you know, reduce the cost. Anyway, regardless if you reduce the cost or not, you still withdraw just for playing, because it does say when you activate a green extra card, so it could be a red green extra card and you'll still draw. But it's the fact that berry blue was the main reason I wanted to use that other card. It was the King Vegeta's Dynasty, which was the 2-drop field card, which actually can be used as a negate. So I wanted to make this a red green, you know, deck with that negate engine and use berry blue to bring it back. But berry blue does mono green extra cards, so I couldn't do that engine since she was supposed to be part of the engine, but she doesn't work with the cards, so I scrapped that idea for now. Alright, first active auto, of course, you get the field card. Second auto, once per turn, when you activate an extra card with an original energy cost of 2 and the field card skill, add up to 1 card from your life and draw 1 card. I personally don't take a life for this. I let my opponent deal me damage to get me to 4 so I can awaken. I personally don't like taking damage at all, but I'll take, you know, but in order to get the most, because the leader is at his best when he's awakened, and you don't really get the full power of your field cards, right, your field card engine, until you awaken. So unfortunately you have to awaken with this leader. I still rather not, you know, take a life to do that, but I've done that once, right? You'll see it in the gameplay where I was at 5 life and I took a life for a card effect. I'm trying to remember what card effect that was. Was it berry blue? Was it? It wasn't the leader. It was something else. There was something where choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand. Nope, it wasn't you. Was it? No. Was it this? I think it was this one. Yeah, because this one is you take a life, right? Because I know where this is active battle, take a life in order to do it. I don't remember right now. You'll see it in the gameplay. Let's just keep it moving. The point is you know, you could take a life and draw a card. So you could just draw a card and not take a life, obviously. When you have 4 or less life, switch up to 2 of your energies to active mode, which is nice. That actually is very useful. I actually was able to take advantage of that. And then we have the same effect as the front, where you can play your field cards for 1 less, so pretty much they cost 1. And then active auto, once per turn, when you activate a green extra card with energy cost, original energy cost of 2 and the field skill, draw 1 card. And then active battle, once per turn, choose 1 green extra card with an energy cost of 2 and field skill in your battle area and place it into the owner's drop area. This card gets a 10k power for the battle. The thing I hate is that the field card has to be 2, right? Which means only these 2 can be used. It doesn't allow you to use King Code's Dynasty for that, because there was a situation in the Duel, when I was playtesting the deck, where I was like, man, if only I could send this to the drop to trigger this card's active battle, I would have been able to prevent the damage from the attack. And then next turn I was going to go for game because I had a strong board, you know, so that was the thing. So I was like, oh man, it really made sure we couldn't use this card for this card's effect, which would have been nice to have. But anyway, so there's that. So very important thing is to make sure you use your berry blues very well. Make sure you're getting your pluses from it. You're getting multiple copies of your cards, because you might be in situations where you use her ability on your turn to bring back one of your field cards, send it to the drop with the leader's effect to trigger the effect off. But because you can only, you can only use her once per turn per copy. If you only have one of her in play, then you won't be able to bring the field card back again. So hopefully you have a second one in your hand that you can play for 1 energy, so which is always good, and drop it for 1 energy, and then that way on your opponent's turn you can use the the leader's active battle along with your engine. Let me mention the engine, by the way. It's pretty simple. The idea is that you want to have both anticipated onslaught and unstoppable invasion in play, and then you want to use the leader's active battle ability to send unstoppable invasion to the drop, which will trigger anticipated onslaught, which will let you KO a battle card with energy cost 2 or less, which was actually relevant and useful in the matchup I had. What was the deck? It was Dark Garlic Jr. deck or something. Had a whole bunch of servants, but they were 2 costs or less, so this definitely was useful, this little engine. And of course, the idea is you use Berry Blue. Yo, wouldn't it be nice if Berry Blue effect was also active battle? That would be a nice errata. Make it even more powerful, because then you could, I could have used her effect on my opponent's turn, bring the field card back, and then send it to the drop with the leader, and then just trigger the effect all over again to pow, 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 kill, 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 right? So that's the basic idea. But if you get 2 Berry Blues, which is all, optimally what you want, because you will use 1, right, to, if you already used your field card strategy, bring back the field card with 1, use it on your turn when you swing with the leader or something else, and use your active battle on your turn, KOing one of your opponents 2 costs or less, and then use the other one to bring it back before it's your opponent's turn, right? And then on your opponent's turn, if they try to battle, then you use your leader's active battle again, because it's once per turn, right? And you can use it on your opponent's turn, and then send this to the drop, and then trigger this effect. And this effect is only once per turn, so you can only use it once per turn. Once on your turn, once on your opponent's turn. So that's the way you want to use it. The most typical thing you would do, realistically, is if you only have 1 Berry Blue, you want to use your leader's ability on your opponent's turn, right? Use the active battle, use this, KO something 2 costs or less on your opponent's turn. That way on your turn, use her to bring it back, and then again wait until your opponent's turn, and then do the combo, right? Use active battle, send this to drop, KO something 2 costs or less. That way you can always kill something on your opponent's turn. Something interesting that I probably would do to upgrade this deck, I'll just give it an honorable mention. If you want to modify this deck a little bit, I wasn't really too much of a fan of this card because Topo was much better. If you want, I would recommend take this out and put in Piccolo, Assimilated Ability. That's what I would put. This is an afterthought, by the way. I would put that. That would be so nice, because that combined with this engine here, because Piccolo can hit things that are 5 or less. This little engine can hit 2 or less, so you could potentially KO 2 battle cards a turn if you have that, because of course Berry Blue be in play with Piccolo, so he'll have bonds too. So that would be a nice little way of upgrading the deck and changing it a little bit to get that. Plus stuff like Nappa, Topo, even Zarbon, they will help you get the what is it called, the bonds too. So that's the change I would make. Like, I would upgrade it to that. I mean, this build is good as is, but in thinking about it again, I'm like, I would like Piccolo in this deck. It would be so much fun. So that would probably be something I'll do in a later build. I still want to add some more engines. Like I said, like this 2-drop, I would like to replace it with something else. So in the future, there'll probably be another King Code build, and we'll add those other ideas. What was I saying? So that's the engine. Topo definitely was MVP. Put in work. I do, yes, charge the Nappa super combo turn 1. That way I can have the 1 red for the Topo, and then the rest I just charge green and just do what I do. King Vegeta also MVP. The sooner you get him out there, the better. He's MVP. Trust me. You'll see it in the gameplay. He was definitely putting in work. I could have used him better, of course, but it was the first time I played the card, so it takes a while to get used to what the card can do. Because originally I just wanted to use it to take cards out of my opponent's hand, but his ability to get rid of battle cards, very useful. Especially the ability to ignore barrier, very useful. But he does have the ability to potentially board white, which is his -X ability, where for each marker you remove from this card using the skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So if you remove 3 markers, you can KO 3 battle cards. So once you play him, you obviously already start off with 3 markers, so there's the potential to get rid of 3 battle cards right off the bat. But I just kept using his +1 ability. But but of course you can just -2 and get rid of 2 battle cards, and then swing with him and get rid of another battle card and get and KO 3 cards that way, just minusing 2 and attacking. Most of his battle cards were in rest mode, so those were options you can do. Of course, we got the Vegeta, automatic board wipe, becomes 25k double strike crit, which is always good because you don't want your opponent to benefit from your attacks. So that, and this does have crit, so you could take advantage of this early game, crit your opponent, and then late game crit your opponent some more, just so they don't gain any hand advantage. And you could use Vegeta to reduce your hand size, so there's that. But typically your opponent will be playing most of their cards, so the ability to destroy their battle cards once they're on the field, obviously has its perks, because it forces them to have to play more cards from their hands in order to even have something on the field. So I want to take advantage of that. And everything else is pretty, basic. This definitely was putting in some work. This was fun to play. Definitely the Obuni of the deck, so that was putting in some work. These two, I didn't really get to use them. I either charged them or discarded them. I just relied on Topo, but they are good at what they do. Just more familiar with Topo, so I just kept rocking out Topo. That's just me. But they're good cards. Zarbon, definitely good, and don't do what I did, which was forget that he was in the drop. One of the first things I do is I combo him, like when my opponent attacks my leader with their leader, and they'd be like 10k. I'm like, all right, well, combo Zarbon so I don't take damage, and Zarbon is now in the drop, ready to be used. And then forget him the rest of the game. Just forget that he's in the drop. It's like, oh man, I forgot he was in the drop. That can happen. It's the old saying, out of sight, out of mind, right? So since I didn't remember he was in the drop, I couldn't, I didn't use him, and it would have been beneficial to use him because it's always good to keep your defenses up, right? You don't want to be in a position where you have to combo, right? It should be a choice, not mandatory to combo. It should be a choice. You should always block, negate, or take the damage, but don't waste, cards just to combo. And so Ribrianne, she acts as a deadly defender. She's also a board wipe, and she, is one of your win cons because she's a 30k triple strike. And if your hand is thick enough, and she already is thick as is, right? Throw in the Nappa because he likes them thick, and drop your whole hand and finish your opponent off. But if you don't succeed in winning, she does have the deadly defender ability where your opponent can't attack your leader, so that does give you some bit of defense on the clapback, considering the fact that she is thick. unlike most other defenders that tend to be half her thickness. So she definitely can put in work. I never played her yet, but she's there. It's better to have and not need, right, than to need and not have. This definitely was fun. Definitely was putting in work. Lets you go wide real quick. Combine with Nappa, you can easily swarm the board. Of course, floodgate negates. It's not enough to stop one attack. You gotta stop every attack. Every attack. Opponent has 6 cards in his hands. You better be able to negate 6 attacks, because you never know. They could probably play their whole hand and just attack. So you gotta stop everything. And then we got the same thing. We got the Majin Buu, which also has the ability that it's an active battle / main. You're mainly gonna use it for battle, which is you pay 2 green, play this card from your hand, and your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn. So further increase. So basically, it's the green Hachiak. You could play this as soon as turn 2, right? And then this has Spirit Boost 2, which lets you steal your opponent's units and all that good stuff. And that's pretty much it. Everything else should be self-explanatory in the end of the video.